Hello and welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep IAS. Welcome to the daily quiz discussion for 19th of June 2022. Beginning with the first question of the day, which reads, consider the following statements with respect to department related standing committees or the DRSCs. There are three question statements given here. The first one reads, currently there are 24 DRSCs with all of them coming under the jurisdiction of the Speaker, Lok Sabha. The second statement reads, the term of office of these committees does not exceed 5 years or the term of the Lok Sabha, whichever is lower. The third statement reads, the DRSEs consider the demand for grants, annual reports, and examine bills pertaining to the related ministries or departments, and their recommendations are binding. Which of the above statements is correct? Please have a look at the options. Let us understand the context first. On the occasion of having completed 3 years in office, Speaker of Lok Sabha, Shri Om Birla, in an interview with The Hindu, has expressed his views on the functioning of the parliament, including on the frequent complaints by the opposition that not enough bills are being sent to parliamentary committees. Expressing his opinion on the issue, the Speaker noted that it is the government that makes the decision whether bills are sent to the committee or not. Coming back to the question, consider the first statement. Note, there are 24 DRSs. This part is correct, but not all of them come under the jurisdiction of the Speaker. Out of the 24, 8 come under the jurisdiction of the Chairman of the Rajya Sabha, while 16 come under the jurisdiction of the Speaker of Lok Sabha. So the first statement is wrong. Now consider the second statement. The term of office of these committees is not 5 years, but it is 1. That is, these committees are constituted annually. So the second statement is also wrong. Now look at the third statement. The DRSEs consider the demand for grants, annual reports, and also examine bills. These parts are correct. Note, while the DRSEs can consider the demand for grants, they cannot propose cut motions. Also, while they are allowed to examine bills, their recommendations are not binding. Also note that it is not mandatory to refer all bills to the department related standing committees. Also, the DRSEs shall not consider matters of day-to-day administration of the related ministry or department. So the third statement is also wrong. Since the question asks for the correct statement, the answer to this question would be option D, none of the statements. In this respect, let us also understand a little more about department-related standing committees. Let us understand the composition of DRSEs. Each of these 24 DRSEs are made up of 31 members. Out of these, 21 come from the Lok Sabha, while 10 come from the Rajya Sabha. Also, let us understand what is the significance of these DRSEs. Given that these DRSEs deal with one particular ministry or subject, they over time build expertise. This allows them to examine a topic in depth. Also, they allow for discussion outside the direct public glare. This allows the MPs to take a more nuanced stand. Also note, the anti-defection law does not apply to committees. Moving on to the second question, which reads, which of the following pairs of festival and the associated state are correctly matched? There are three pairs given here. They are as follows: Sarhul, Jharkhand; Wanchua, Assam; and Nongkrem, Meghalaya. Please have a look at the options. Now let us understand the context. Today's The Hindu, in its News in Frames section, talks about the Wanchua festival of Assam. This is a festival celebrated by the Tiwa tribesmen. It marks their good harvest. Coming back to the question, please note all these three pairs are correctly matched. Now let us briefly understand each of these. Sarhul is a festival associated with the state of Jharkhand. It is celebrated during the spring season when the sal trees get new flowers. It involves the worship of the village deity. Wanchua we have just discussed. Nongkrem is a festival celebrated by the Khasi tribe of Meghalaya. It is usually celebrated in the month of November. It honors the local goddess for good harvest and prosperity. The answer to this question would be option D, 1, 2, and 3. Moving on to the third question of the day, which reads, which of the following statements are correct with respect to Goa's conquest and liberation? The three statements are as follows. Goa became a Portuguese colony in 1510 when Afonso de Albuquerque captured the city from the Sultan of Bijapur. Trista de Bracanca Cunha was a prominent Indian nationalist and anti-colonial activist from Goa. The third statement reads, India annexed the then Portuguese Indian territories of Goa, Daman and Diu through an armed action codenamed Operation Vijay in 1960. Please have a look at the options. Now, what is the context? Recently, the Goan Chief Minister Pramod Sawant addressed a gathering on the occasion of the Goa Revolution Day. Please note, Goa Revolution Day is celebrated on the June 18th. It commemorates the public meeting held in 1946 when Ram Manohar Loya gave a clarion call for the liberation of Goa. Coming back to the question. The first statement is correct. That is, Goa became a Portuguese colony in 1510, wherein Albuquerque captured the city from the Sultan of Bijapur, who at that time was Yusuf Adil Shah. The first statement is correct. The second statement is also correct. That is, Trista de Braganca Cunha was a prominent Indian nationalist and anti-colonial activist from Goa. He is often referred to as the father of the Goan nationalism. He was the organizer of the first movement to end Portuguese rule in Goa. He also founded the Goa National Conference at the Calcutta session of the Indian National Congress in 1928. The second statement is correct. Now consider the third statement. India took back the Portuguese Indian territories of Goa, Daman and Diu, which were often referred to as Estado da India, from the Portuguese from an armed action codenamed Operation Vijay. This is correct. But the year is wrongly mentioned. Please note it was in 1961. This makes third statement wrong. Since the question asks for the correct statement, the answer to this question would be option A, 1 and 2 only. Moving to the fourth question of the day, which reads, which of the following statements is or are correct with respect to the provisions of the Maternity Benefit Amendment Act of 2017? The maternity leave should not be availed before 8 weeks from the date of expected delivery. The Act has a provision which requires establishments with 50 or more employees to provide creche facilities. There is a mandatory work from home provision which the employee can avail after the end of the maternity leave period for up to 6 months. Please have a look at the options. What is the context? This article from the PIB notes the National Commission for Women organizing a law review consultation on the Maternity Benefit Act of 1961. Note, one of the major provisions of the Maternity Benefit Amendment Act of 2017 was that it increased the paid maternity leaves up to 26 weeks. Note, paid maternity leaves are also allowed for adoptive and commissioning mothers as well, though the period is less than 26 weeks, it is 12 weeks. Also note, for women with 2 or more children, this maternity leave benefit is only 12 weeks and not 26 weeks. Coming back to the question. The first statement is correct. That is, only 8 of the total 26 weeks leave can be taken before the date of expected delivery. The second statement is also correct. That is, the Act has a provision which requires establishment with 50 or more employees to provide creche facilities. Also, the women are allowed 4 visits to the creche facility in a day. The third statement is wrong. That is, there is a provision for work from home, but this is not mandatory. Please note, as per the provisions of this Act, an employer may permit if the nature of work assigned to the woman permits work from home. They can be availed after the paid maternity leave. Also, the duration of such work from home would be mutually decided by the employer and woman. The judiciary in related cases has emphasized the fact that work from home provision is not mandatory and it depends upon the nature of work assigned to the woman. Since the question asks for the correct statement, the answer to this question would be option B, 1 and 2 only. Moving on to the last question of the day. This is a question from the UPSC 2019 General Studies Paper 1. The question reads, consider the following statements. Purchasing power parity or PPP exchange rates are calculated by comparing the prices of the same basket of goods and services in different countries. In terms of PPP dollars, India is the sixth largest economy in the world. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? Please have a look at the options. Now, let us understand what we mean by purchasing power parity. Please note, PPP measures the amount of one country's currency required to purchase a basket of goods and services in the country as compared to another country's currency in order to purchase the similar basket of goods and services in that country. Hence, PPP compares currencies of different countries through a similar basket of goods and services approach. Such a macroeconomic indicator allows economists to compare economic productivity and standard of living between countries. So the first statement is correct. Consider the second statement. In terms of PPP dollars, India is not the sixth largest. It is the third largest. India is placed behind China and the USA. Since the question asks for the correct statement, the answer to this question would be option A, one only. Moving on to the fact of the day, marine heat wave. Now, what do we mean by marine heat wave? It is a period of abnormally high temperature relative to the average seasonal temperature of a particular region in sea or ocean. Now, let us understand the causes of marine heat wave. We can classify the causes broadly in terms of man-made and natural. We are all aware of global warming. The anthropogenic emission of the greenhouse gases has resulted in the trapping of heat within the Earth's atmosphere, which has resulted in the increase in the average global temperatures. Note, more than 90% of the extra heat that has been trapped in the climate system has been absorbed by the oceans since 1970. This has been noted in several of the IPCC reports, including the latest AR6 report. The report also makes another noteworthy observation, wherein it notes the tropical Indian Ocean is warming at a much faster rate compared to the global ocean temperature rise. Also note, apart from the anthropogenic causes of marine heat waves can also be caused by natural phenomena such as El Nino. Now, what are the adverse consequences of marine heat wave? Marine heat waves can lead to the increase in the sea level. Also, it can lead to the melting of glaciers. More notably, it can lead to the changing of weather pattern and also lead to increased intensity as well as frequency of extreme events such as cyclones. This article in the Hindu analyzes the relationship between marine heat waves and the super cyclone Amphan, which was observed in the Bay of Bengal region in the year 2020. The study conducted by researchers note that the unusual and unprecedented rapid intensification of the supercyclone Amphan was related to the presence of the marine heat wave in the Bay of Bengal region in the year 2020. This the research is able to link by comparative analysis of the growth of cyclone Amphan and also cyclone Fani. The research concludes that the presence of the marine heat wave led to the rapid intensification of the supercyclone Amphan as compared to cyclone Fani. This the research terms as compound extreme events, wherein the co-occurrence of multiple extreme events take place. Hence, global warming and the associated marine heat wave is a great cause of concern for humans. That is all for today. Thank you for being with us.